Hey, you. I just walking home with my little boy and was thinking about the chems in the sky. And, you know, I put some chemtrail stuff up the other day, and as a consequence of that, I got. There's my mate Nick. Nick, all right, pal. Anyway, so what I was going to say is I had some interesting feedback, and people are like all sweaty under the armpits about whether or not it matters. Oh, by the way, I'm sure you know that the moon is up already and visible, although they're chemming the heck out of it this afternoon. These skies were pretty clear, but all of that dust you see, my friends, that dust you see, that's dispersal program, that is. Geoengineering dispersal. Some clever friend, and I don't mean this sarcastically, but he's like, no, that's the steam. It operates in different ways in the upper reaches of the atmosphere. We can't tell because we're too small, we're too far away, and we have to rely on scientists. I do not rely on scientists for my knowledge, friends. If I can't test it for myself, I'm not going to accept it as a matter of fact. So, really, I wanted to say this on chemming. One sec. Sorry, I've got one hand, it's a little slow going. I wanted to say this on the chemming. It really doesn't matter. Well, I mean, it does matter, and it's part of the vile thing that's going on around us, but in the sense that it stresses us out, it doesn't matter. In the sense that it's something that we can't really do anything about except get angry with the government or the controllers or whatever, then it shouldn't matter, because my bicep is getting tired. Stand there a second. It shouldn't matter because it's part of the game against us, and we're meant to be able to rise above it. You agree? Okay, well, we keep walking then. So, I guess that's all I wanted to say. I know I do open these lives up as if to have a chat with people. And you want to get down? Okay. Oh, what a bonus. We've just walked 2 miles, and I do need to swap arms every now and again because he's a bit heavy now. We want to walk on this wall, darling. Mind we don't get the authorities come our way. What's today? Is today Monday? Today we were meant to have a debt collection company, one of the debt collection companies who are chasing my straw man legal fiction for unpaid credit cards. They were meant to come visit today, and they cancelled the visit for some reason. Not that I would have let them in the house, but you understand. But it's just the way of things at the moment. So it could be seen as a form of torture. They tell you a week before they're gonna send someone around, and then they cancel it. So you've been kind of thinking about it and thinking about the implications of it. Anyway, there's interesting things going on in. Oh, sorry, darling, I'll get that for you. There's interesting things going on here, and I don't want to take up too much of your time. There's plenty to be getting. We've all got to get on with. I think. I don't know. I guess I'll talk more when I've got more to say. But I just wanted to say about the chem things. Don't sweat about that, man. I mean, it's bollocks, and the system needs changing. Don't get me wrong. Of course, it needs changing. But it's Q, isn't it? I don't think it's going to change. That's what I should talk about, is Q, because a few great friends and people who are becoming voices in the community. They, just it feels to me like another rabbit hole that people are getting drawn into, or an old rabbit hole that people are getting drawn into, and a surprising one actually, that people still think that there's a savior within. I mean, within the system rather than within ourselves. It has to come from within ourselves. There's no. I think the system is designed, and maybe that's the Freemasons' trick of the 33rd or the 90th degree or whatever they get to, is they go, well, you know, the reality is, the harsh reality is, we've got to play this game out as it is, and so stop trying to fight it so much and get on with making yourself, unpicking all the locks that have been put on you from your indoctrination all the way through. I should say hello to folks before I go. Hey, it's Tommy. Hi, mate. Hope to catch up with you someday. And Jimmy. They work for government. I think that most people just who said that? Branko. Hello, mate. Yeah. Hey, Ricardo. Hi. I say let's fight. Yeah, I mean, you know, you must go for it if that's what you feel. But I can assure you, they know that there is going to be a group, just like they do. They go and say like an Islamic country and mess with that country. Then out of 100 boys, 3 of them, 5 of them, 7 of them, or whatever, are going to pick up weapons when they're offered a weapon, and they're going to go to war. Just in the same way as the white South Africans, you know, were given, especially the Afrikaans South African, were given this whole Boer War story and how they've been maligned by the British, the Empire, and so on. And so they're more than willing to kind of pick up arms and defend themselves. And so the more that we tell people, and this is what I think the clever thing about Q is that they want to tell people that, oh, by the way, you have been screwed over. You have been run by dreadful pedophile gangs led by Hillary Clinton or whatever, you know, you know, it's a corrupt, disgusting, vile system, and now we're going to let you know that, so that those 7 boys out of 100 who we've weaponized are going to take up some kind of action against the system, because the more that we take that action against the system, my friend, and the more that the system can arm themselves, and so on, and more pertinent to yourself is that the more time you spend fighting, just like these credit agencies, debt collectors and stuff, the more time I spend fighting that inside myself, the less time I have for myself. And even though, so for some time now, maybe a few years or a year at least, you know, I've had this sort of credit card failure happening around me, you know, and I've mentioned before, it's quite a large sum of money in the end. And you know, there was a time when it really, really rattled me and really, really, you know, it really troubled me that I sort of had this debt, even though I'd done some of the research on legal fiction and so on. Anyway, so what I wanted to so I didn't want to catch that kid really in the camera. Yeah, so you know, I realized that I must endure these things or encounter these things, like the police coming to the door the other day about the barefoot business and all of the others. I have to endure it with, not endure it. I have to see it as a test and not kind of get the victim mindset going on and the siege mindset and the battle them mindset going on, because, you know, is it they turn the other cheek? I don't know about, I'm not all about turning the other cheek, don't get me wrong. I'm a guy who stands my ground, and I have done in my lifetime. But to raise up a little band of bandits who want to go against this group of pirates who run us, well, that's what they want, and they're ready for you anyway. So I can't tell you what to do with your time and your energy and stuff, but I do think for myself anyway, I've learned that this is about learning that forgiveness and that love, and that you know, it is a Christ-like. I know I sound a little bit kind of like that, you know, the vicar in the church talking about the Christ story, you know, and it is a little bit like that, you know. We are kind of, you know, meant to, I think, find that higher place rather than stay in the mud, the wars, and the lower chakra kind of, you know, the stuff that the man is, you know, has been weaponized in the man, you know, this need to kind of stand guard and think that everybody's wanting to be, you know, that the warrior is a guy who's willing to kind of put a bullet through someone else's head and hang these other entities. I can only think that Q is about stoking the fire of anger and stoking the fire of resentment to the system, such that they can bring about a million-man march and some kind of overthrow agenda, so that just like the Arab Spring, we can have a Euro Spring or a US Spring, and of course it's going to be, that'll be the reaction, and the solution will be one provided to you by your same masters who created Q and who created the vile creatures that apparently inhabit the highest offices. So that's my thoughts on that. I hope it's helpful. And as I've said to my friend Roxanne and young Dolly, who's joined the crew recently, you know, who seem to be quite taken in by the Q story, you know, I said, if I'm wrong, I'm not going to go naked or anything like that, but I am, you know, I'm willing to kind of eat the humble pie. However, don't be fooled, man. When Q offers you like, oh, we've arrested this person, and actually you even see a trial of that, I'm going to ask you to remember, Benghazi was a hoax, and Saddam Gaddafi was, Muammar Gaddafi was not killed in the back of that van truck. That was a scene played out for TV. Do you know how hard it is to get signals and stuff like that and so on, but to film what they did? Oh no, please, that's like the Jihadi John bullshit and the orange suited guys from ISIS back in the day, you know, getting their videos onto YouTube. Don't be pulled in by that stuff. So if they come out with some major windfall, like, look, the truth has finally been sort of, no. I am going to maybe do a video, just because it seems to be on my mind. I'm going to try and do a video debunking the, not debunking, but just pointing out some of the glaring weaknesses in the position of Q. Because if you were Q and you were truthful about exactly what's been going on, there'd be a lot more stuff. It's a little bit like the Julian Assange thing. Do you believe that the Julian Assange thing wasn't co-intel, counterintelligence, you know, set up stage to be like the bad boy who you know, the rest of the world can look to as their savior of information and so on? Come on, guys. You know that's bullshit. Because you know that he would have put a lot more, he could put a lot more stuff out about, well, the stuff that we know about. Okay? So that's my thoughts on that. And you know what I have to say to that chap who, let me just see, I've forgotten your name, I'm sorry. Well, there's been a few comments. I do, so I'm not very good at keeping up with all that. I'm a little slow. It says Brand, is it Brando? I do apologize, I need glasses, right? Hey, Curtis. One of the things that I'm going to use my voice for is to talk to people just like yourself who think that that's the next step. Is now we know what we know, we band together. Let me tell you, people ain't going to band around you, my brother, much as you might think that would be great. We can't get people to see that the earth is not spinning. I mean, so it's got whatever yellow vest activity we get, because we see here, it'll be controlled. You know, like they've got in France thing, you know, it's not, and it won't be looking, it'll be like, yeah, what we need is a few extra pound per hour. Don't worry about the usury system. Don't worry about the whole, you know, the corrupt business of finance in the world or any of the other stuff. No, they'll offer you something else. Anyway, the point I was going to make to you, my friend, is that, you know, I've been in war myself, so, you know, I know from first-hand experience that of being in combat. I actually have spent hours and days in real life combat, frontline commander of an armored vehicle. So I don't come at this from the Greenpeace, you know, kumbaya angle. I've been there, and I know from, well, we all know that violence begets violence. So for me calling for a non-violent approach or an inner approach is I'm coming at it from a guy who's had that experience over there. So just so we're clear on that, hey, I'm not just trying to be, you know, whatever. You know, I've got people looking at me strangely like, what's the guy doing there? I should do a few shouts before I run out of battery and stuff. Is that my friend Drew? Hey brother, always good to see Drew in the house. And I hate that I miss stuff because my eyes are so poor, and I feel like I'm making so many excuses. So I can't even follow the chat, so I'm sorry about that. Photo dude, hey man, welcome to the show. Life's the stage. And I think really, I mean, we can go through this life angry, and we can go through this truth of a journey freaking angry. And you know, my anger has matured, and I've hopefully moved through that anger. And I'm getting to that place where I'm far more comfortable with, you know, this system is far more capable of holding this lie together, and then offering people a new set of lies to buy into, just like they did in South Africa, you know. I genuinely thought that it was going to be a good place to live, and so on. I guess I thought, give it 2 generations. I thought, give it 2 generations for people to all come through the education system, etc., and it's going to be fine. Of course it's not. But you can be fine, and you can have an awesome life, and you can find a fantastic path for yourself and those around you, and but do what you must, and I will, I'll learn from what I see of those who are willing to take those kind of steps. But I think that I've got it down on that. So I won't belabor. Well, water has to be contained, so maybe. I love that. Water has to be contained. You know, when I get people ask me in the street going, so what stops the water from flowing out? I think the next time I'm in Speaker's Corner, I'm going to say gravity. And they go, what? You're not allowed to use gravity. Well, I'll be like, well, if you guys can use gravity, it's just a made-up thing. I can apply it to my model, can't I? Yeah. Anyway. See, Alexander's just playing here. What a cool kid, you know. He's just like... He's just checking out, he's doing a little bit of weeding for these people. Thankfully, we haven't had any officials come and chase us away. Anyway, you have a brilliant day, and I'm grateful for having the opportunity to chat, and I'm grateful that you stopped by to say, and I'm grateful for the nice words that people said after the police raid. That wasn't a raid, that's unfair. The police came around, it was actually not a bad thing, and it was a good encounter for us to realize actually we need to show these people